Since February 1977, rock fans have speculated endlessly about the true meaning behind the lyrics of Hotel California. The interpretations are vast, with no two being exactly alike. This aura of mystery and legend surrounding the song is something that would have undoubtedly pleased Eagles co-founder and frontman Glenn Frey, who co-wrote the track. Frey once described the lyrics as having achieved perfect ambiguity, perhaps even an understatement, given the sheer range of theories that have emerged over the years. Before diving deeper into Hotel California, let's take a moment to understand the band that created it. The Eagles formed in 1971 in Los Angeles, bringing together a talented group of musicians who would go on to define a new sound in rock music. Glenn Frey and Don Henley met while playing as backing musicians for Linda Ronstadt and decided to form their own band. They recruited guitarist Bernie Leadon and bassist Randy Meisner to complete the original lineup. The band's early sound blended rock, country, and folk influences, leading to a series of successful albums in the early 70s, including Eagles, 1972, Desperado, 1973, and On the Border, 1974. However, it was their 1976 album Hotel California that truly solidified their legacy. By this time, the band's lineup had evolved, with Don Felder, Joe Walsh, and Timothy B. Schmidt playing key roles. The album became one of the best-selling records of all time, and its title track remains one of the most analyzed and discussed songs in rock history. Henley once told Rolling Stone that Hotel California explores timeless themes: conflict between darkness and light, good and evil, youth and aging, and the spiritual versus the secular. He described it as a song about the loss of innocence. Later, he offered a more specific interpretation, stating that it was about the music business and their experiences in Los Angeles. Over time, Henley broadened the meaning even further, saying it symbolized America as a whole. Before any lyrics were even written, the song's eerie sense of haunting confusion was already present in its instrumental composition. Don Felder, who wrote the original demo, captured an unsettling yet mesmerizing atmosphere in the chord progression. When Glenn Frey and Don Henley first heard the demo, they envisioned the song as an episode of The Twilight Zone. A lone traveler, hypnotized by the monotony of the road, journeys through the desert on an endless drive. Exhausted, he sees the distant glow of a place that promises refuge. He stops for the night, only to find himself in a surreal, unsettling world filled with bizarre characters and an overwhelming sense of entrapment. Henley and Frey were particularly inspired by The Magus, 1965, a novel where the protagonist becomes ensnared in a psychological game on a remote Greek island, unable to distinguish reality from illusion. This eerie concept mirrored their perspective on Hollywood, a glamorous facade hiding a dark and corrupt underbelly. With this idea in mind, Henley began to shape the now iconic lyrics. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. Right from the start, the song engages three senses. Touch, the cool wind blowing through the protagonist's hair. Smell, the warm scent of calitas, a desert plant, rising in the air. Sight, the shimmering light ahead, beckoning him forward. The shimmering light, metaphorically representing the glitz and allure of Hollywood, draws the weary traveler toward it, just as countless dreamers have flocked to Los Angeles, mesmerized by the promise of fame and fortune. A city of dreams or a trap? Upon reaching this mysterious place, the traveler is greeted by a woman, a representation of Hollywood's sirens, who lure in the naive and unsuspecting. The next lines highlight an eerie duality. There she stood in the doorway, I heard the mission bell. And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. The ringing mission bell could symbolize California's historical mission bells, which once marked Spanish settlements along the coast. While these missions served as religious centers, they were also sites of oppression and forced labor for indigenous peoples. The line reflects this contradiction. Is this a place of salvation or a gilded cage? As the protagonist steps inside, ghostly voices echo down the corridor, welcoming him to Hotel California. These voices foreshadow a sinister revelation. Such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. Any time of year, you can find it here. This seemingly warm welcome masks an unsettling truth. Just as Hollywood may seem inviting, it harbors an ominous side where lost souls never truly escape. A life of excess and illusion. The woman who greeted our protagonist is described as having her mind Tiffany twisted, a reference to material obsession, with Tiffany & Company being one of the most luxurious jewelry brands. She surrounds herself with pretty boys, caught in an endless cycle of pleasure-seeking. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. This line serves as a subtle nod to substance abuse, a common reality in the entertainment world. Some indulge to capture unforgettable moments, while others do so to escape painful memories. As the protagonist immerses himself in this hedonistic world, he begins to crave more. "So I called up the captain. Please bring me my wine," he said. "We haven't had that spirit here since 1969. This cryptic response has led to much debate. Wine is not a spirit in the technical sense, but Henley himself dismissed this as a literal interpretation, stating, "That line is not about alcohol. It's a socio-political statement." One theory suggests that the line references the end of the 1960s counterculture movement, a time of peace and free expression that was overshadowed by the greed and excess of the 1970s music industry. Some believe it subtly alludes to the Manson murders in 1969, an event that symbolized the dark turn in California's dream. The hotel becomes a prison. The song builds toward its chilling climax. "We are all just prisoners here, of our own device." This haunting line suggests that those who enter the Hotel California or the entertainment industry do so willingly. But once inside, they find themselves trapped by fame, addiction, and self-destruction. The imagery turns even darker. "And in the master's chambers, they gathered for the feast, they stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast." The master and the beast are often interpreted as metaphors for addiction, the corrupting influence of fame, or even the devil himself. Some have suggested the beast represents the music industry. No matter how much one fights against it, its power remains. As the song nears its end, the protagonist realizes he has become part of this twisted world. In a desperate attempt to leave, he's met with the most chilling revelation of all. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. This closing line cements the song's theme of entrapment, whether in addiction, fame, or the illusions of Hollywood. While one might physically leave, the emotional and psychological toll lingers forever. So, what is Hotel California really about? The song is deliberately open to interpretation, but its underlying themes of temptation, excess, and entrapment are unmistakable. It serves as both a love letter and a warning about the seductive and destructive nature of Hollywood and fame. Whether seen as a commentary on the music industry, materialism, or a more abstract reflection on society, Hotel California remains one of the most enigmatic and haunting songs in rock history, an eternal mystery wrapped in perfect ambiguity. Hotel California remains one of the most fascinating and mysterious songs in rock history. Decades after its release, fans and critics still debate its meaning, proving that great music doesn't just entertain, it makes us think. Whether you see it as a commentary on fame, the excess of the American dream, or something even darker, there's no denying the haunting power of its lyrics and melody. The Eagles crafted a masterpiece that continues to captivate listeners, blending storytelling with intricate musicianship. It's a song that welcomes you in with its warm sound but leaves you questioning everything by the end, just like the best works of art always do. What do you think Hotel California is really about? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rock history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest music stories. Thanks for watching Rock Fame Diaries, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless.